other than trying to keep me from sending you to prison. Mr. Fifield, how do we know that you're not going to continue to make choices that put the community in danger?
So you're asking me to speak?
Yes.
Because I have kids and I have a spouse back there, and I realize the things I have done to put me back in here. And I'm so sorry. I want to cry because I'm tired of putting myself.
On the record in state of Michigan versus Deshaun Byfield. Our file number is 2201621FD. The circuit file number is floating around here, 22548FH.
Good morning, I'm Matt Nagel for the people.
Assistant Public Defender Joseph Hardy on behalf of Mr. Fifield, who is standing to my left.
And you are Deshaun Byfield.
Yes, Your Honor.
Today is the date for probation violation hearing. Mr. Fifield, as a reminder, you're on probation for OWI third offense, so you face up to 5 years in prison for a probation violation with credit for any time that you've already served. You have the right to have an attorney. Mr. Hardy represents you. You have the right to have a hearing where it must be proven by a preponderance of the evidence that you violated the terms of your probation. The alleged violations are buried somewhere. Alleged violations that you did not test on September 23rd, 2024, Aver Health or thereafter until, I guess, such time as you were released from jail. And that on or about September 16, 2024, you failed to report to your probation agent as directed. Mr. Hardy, we decided what we're going to do as far as the hearing today.
Yes, Your Honor. At this point, Mr. Fifield would like to admit to the violations, Your Honor.
Mr. Fifield, you understand that if you decide to plead guilty to the probation violations, you'll give up your right to have a hearing on whether you did in fact violate your probation.
Yes, Your Honor.
You also understand that you have a recommendation from probation as to how you might be sentenced in this case. But that is just a recommendation, and the sentence is what I decide. You understand that as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
And knowing that you still wish to waive your rights and proceed with a guilty plea,
Yes, Your Honor.
raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Fifield, I believe you were formally sentenced after revocation from specialty court to a probationary term, May 23rd of 2024. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. As a condition of your probation, you are required to engage in testing to show your sobriety. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that testing, you do that right now at Aver Health?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it true that on September 3rd, 2024, you failed to test?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it true that you had subsequent missed testing apparently between that time and when you finally came in and saw your probation agent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, did you or didn't you? Because the way she has written this, it says on or about September 3rd or anytime thereafter, the defendant failed to test at Aver Health, and this date was dated September 18. So between September 3rd and September 18, did you miss testing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it also true that you needed to report to your probation agent on September 16?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were aware of that?
Yes, I was aware.
And you did not report that day?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did anyone make any promises or threats to you to get you to plead guilty to these violations today?
No, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty of your own free choice?
Yes, Your Honor.
I find your guilty pleas to be knowingly, voluntarily, accurately made with sufficient facts on the record upon which to base these pleas. It's therefore accepted. Mr. Nagel, did you want to provide position for sentence today?
We'll defer to the court.
I believe Ms. DeRose is present. I have your written recommendation. Did you want to add anything?
Nothing additional, Your Honor.
Mr. Hardy?
Thank you, Your Honor. We have no issues with the recommendations. We just ask that the recommendations be followed. I'd also like to add that Mr. Fifield has recently acquired employment at Walmart, has been working full-time.
Mr. Fifield, what would you like to say?
I'm just sorry to be in front of you again. And I understand that I'm committing to my mistakes. But at the same time, I'm sorry.
Mr. Fifield, I'm gonna go through the history of your file and then I'm gonna tell you what my problem is today with you being in violation of this. Mr. Fifield, you were sentenced into delayed sentence to specialty court way back in August of 2022. At that time, you had bond violations for consumption of alcohol and you were sent to a residential treatment program and then you were placed on a scram tether. After that time, you had a probation violation again. Looks like February 23, you had 8 technical violations and 1 non-technical violation at that time during your delayed sentence. And you were ordered to complete relapse prevention and you were given 8 days of delayed sentencing. I believe those 8 violations included use of alcohol at that time. Yeah, tested positive for marijuana in January of 23, failed to submit to testing, sending in diluted testing. Let's see, another missed urine screen, missed treatment. We had driving without a license. And we had testing positive for marijuana throughout February of 23 and admitted use, all of those things at that time. We then had an additional probation violation in September of 23, and I believe I'm not sure what that one was anymore. I have to take pretty far into the file. That was failure to submit to testing again. Then I saw you again in December of 2023, and you pled guilty to 12 technical violations and 3 non-technical violations. That included failure to provide a sample, failure to submit your retest on the SoberLink, testing positive for alcohol on your SoberLink, failure to attend your treatment, failure to test a number of days on your SoberLink, failure to test at Avera Health a number of days, failure to submit your journal entries, testing positive for alcohol again. And as a result of that, the court provided you with a sentence that included relapse prevention, individual counseling, 90/90, and a scram. I think that might have been because there was a time period where you returned to residential treatment again. Was in March of 2024, you were finally revoked from specialty court because you broke the law again by driving the car without a license again during the program. So then the violation comes through on this, and it's my understanding that you weren't testing, you didn't report to your probation agent, and you went to treatment again, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Byfield, my problem is, we have sent you, you've been to residential, this is now 3 times during this term of jurisdiction of this court. And you don't ever go before you think it's going to get you out of consequences. And so what that makes me think is when you're no longer on probation and the court isn't the one who's gonna put consequences on you, that you won't go to treatment when you need help. You're just going to do whatever you're going to do. And because you keep driving without a license and you keep relapsing into consumption, you're putting everyone at risk of you drinking and driving and hurting someone, you see? So I am not feeling confident at this time, Mr. Byfield, that your trips to treatment are motivated by anything other than your desire to avoid jail consequences at this time. That is my concern. I don't know that Ms. DeRose knows about the extent of violations and treatment efforts that were made for you during specialty court. She's recommending that we let you continue probation and do a scram tether again because you went to treatment. This was your third time, and each time I'm not sure that you're doing anything other than trying to keep me from sending you to prison. Mr. Fifield, how do we know that you're not going to continue to make choices that put the community in danger?
So you're asking me to speak
Yes.
because I have kids and I have a spouse back there, and I realize the things I have done to put me back in here. And I'm so sorry. I'm almost cry because I'm tired of putting myself in this predicament. So please, Your Honor, don't kick me off probation because I want it. And I also, I'm not saying I need it, but at the same time, just please
Well,
understand.
you'd rather do probation than prison for sure, right? Of course.
No, not at all. I have not drove. And my spouse will tell you, I have not drove.
Mhm.
And I'm just being real honest to you right now. And please do not kick me off probation.
You
Let
realize
me-
this is a two-part problem though, right? You kept getting caught driving on probation when you weren't supposed to, and we had continued issues with your continued use of substances, and then your decision to go to treatment each time in order to, in my opinion, at this point, avoid consequences. So what you need to just understand at this time is that you have to seek treatment if you're having struggles before we get to this point, because going to treatment is not going to stop the consequences. The consequences will come anyway. So we've got to get you to a different mindset where instead of waiting until your probation agent is like banging down your door with a warrant, you've already made the decision to seek help.
I have sought help. And I went to detox to get myself back where I needed to be. And before then, I totally understand that when, I don't want to say this, when that tether got taken off, I knew that it was going to be hard. I really didn't want to tell you that, but at the same time, I want to be truthful to you. But at the same time, right now, jail, none of that. Jail ain't gonna really do nothing for me. Out treatment going, I forgot about the we. That's what I mean by the we of AA. That's the we. And I forgot about the we. I started going, I forgot to bring my paper, but I started going back. So I'm totally understanding and I'm committing to my mistakes. Judge, just
But
please
Mr.
listen, just please, I'm not saying that, sorry.
Fifield, you can't wear a scram for the rest of your life, right?
I know.
So I can put you back on scram and that'll work really well for the time you're wearing it. But what happens if we take it off, or what happens when you finish probation?
I would definitely know what I have to do because of my past experience.
Jail doesn't do much for people other than it would keep you off the road. So I don't have to worry about you running.
I don't drive.
Well, you say that, Mr. Fifield, but listen, my faith that you're not going to drive is based on past behavior. You have driven during my probation and been caught no less than twice. How many times you actually drove, who knows, right? Because if you're not caught, we don't know. And one time you only got caught because you had an accident and it was really unfortunate, that's how you got caught. But Mr. Fifield, it's a two-part danger, because one is you do have a history of driving illegally without a license, and you have a history of letting your substance use take over before you seek help. And while Scram was very helpful to you, as soon as it came off, I don't know why you thought you weren't accountable anymore. But you can't wear Scram forever.
No, not at all, Your Honor. And I would love for the scam to get put back on me for whatever you want to put it on me. The reason why I say that is I was doing great with the scam and
Yeah,
it's,
but see, that bring me back to the same problem.
yeah,
You're doing great with the scram, and then
Yeah.
you don't have it on, and then what?
I would definitely, because this time right now, I have a loving spouse
Mm-hmm,
that's in my life.
yeah.
And she talks to me and she makes me great. And
I'm glad you have support, but you understand that she can't be responsible for your sobriety. You're responsible for your sobriety,
Sure.
right?
for sure,
I hope she encourages you to seek help if she sees that you're gonna undo your life, because gosh, I know you have things that you can lose and you don't need to lose them all again. But that's where it's gonna go, because Mr. Fifield, after I've read this file, in part because I wanted Mr. Rose to hear how much work has been put into trying to help you, that this is not your first violation before the court, and I'm being hard on you because it's your first violation. I'm being hard on you, Mr. Fifield, because this is like your fifth violation hearing, and I really am feeling at a loss at this point to get you to understand that your behavior can be dangerous, and just asking to come in here and be on a scram tether does not solve anything. Because you can't wear a scram tether forever.
I understand.
Where are you at with treatment right now?
I think I go to AA on.
That's not treatment, that's community support. What's your treatment? Are you going to PATS, Reality, COG, any treatment provider?
Not really, but I go to AA.
Why are you not going to a treatment provider when you learn through sobriety court that that's what you're supposed to do when you're having trouble with substances?
I do have what do you want to call it, a support, no, I can't remember the name. But what is the name of the person that you talk to daily?
A sponsor,
Sponsor.
again, that's community support, not treatment.
Oh, well,
Mr. Byfield, are you telling me after almost 2 years in specialty court, you don't understand the purpose of treatment? After 3 times in residential treatment programs, you don't understand the purpose of treatment?
yes, I do.
One of the things that the treatment team discussed when you left was that you had actually received all the treatment tools you need because you've been in treatment.
Yeah.
And you've done a number of programs, that you should have everything you need in order to reach out and use your skills to not use substances and get help.
I totally understand, Your Honor. Can I speak one more time?
Yeah.
I totally understand where you're coming from. And I do go to, not a treatment, but I do go to AA.
Mm-hmm.
So when I turned myself to detox, I got back up and I started going to AA because I forgot at that time about the weed. And
Yeah.
and that's not speaking about where you're coming from, but at the same time, I need to keep going to AA and doing what I have to do. Because I remember the first time I came here when I got sentenced 2 years ago, and I was just talking about my need instead of what I want. No, let me flip that from what I wanted to what I needed. And you tell me this is why I'm sending you to rehab. All right, so I'm totally understanding. Just please, Your Honor. Please don't. I know what you want to really do, but please don't do it, please.
Mr. Byfield, because your probation agent wants to continue to work with you, probation has continued, you will serve 7 days in jail. That's in part because there are things that you can do because of your level of treatment that you've received. Things you can do, Things you can do are reach out to your probation agent. Things you can do are go to a treatment provider. Things you can do is not skip your testing. These aren't things that I'm asking of someone who's new to probation. These are things I'm asking of somebody who's been under the jurisdiction of the court since 2022.
For sure.
Okay. You must enroll in outpatient treatment within 21 days, and you must wear a scram tether for no less than 60 days. Since I gave you bail, you have the right to appeal my sentence. If you would like to appeal, you need to make an application for a public defender. I believe it's within 21 days, and your application for appeal of the actual sentence is due within 42
Okay.
days.
So, Master, Your Honor,
Yes.
can I turn myself in tomorrow so I can get stuff taken care of?
No.
No?
Mr. Fifield, no.
All right, I'm just asking.
Mr. Fifield.
That's fine.
You have been here for so long. You know how this works.
Okay.
Okay, you have to make a decision within yourself. We do need to talk about these state cases real quick before you take Mr. Fifield out of the room. You need to make a decision within yourself. Do I want to be sober? Do I want to complete probation? Or am I just doing the bare minimum to try and get through probation because I intend to go back to what I was doing? Because as long as you keep trying to do the bare minimum, I'm going to hold you accountable.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Hardy and Mr. Nagel, did you two of you talk about these dog cases? What am I supposed to do with them?
Yeah, at this point, Mr. Fifield still needs to provide proof of compliance with getting the dogs in order. So we're just requesting a
Okay.
2-week adjournment.
Well, the problem we had, of course, is Mr. Fifield, you were actually due to be here on these dog cases October 7th. You weren't here, but I knew I was gonna see you today, so I kept them, and I didn't issue any warrants or anything like that. I'm going to set these for future dates. Right now, we're gonna give you those dates, but if you get out of jail and you feel very overwhelmed and don't remember your court dates, you can always ask your public defender again, or you can ask us, we'll give them to you. We don't want to issue warrants for you for dog tickets.
I know.
I should also note that I was able to receive updated contact information from Fifield, so we should be able to.
Okay, and I believe Mr. Fifield, you own that house, right? So you still live there, East Saginaw?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a correct address for it.
Or updated phone number. Yes.
Okay, just making sure, because we sent you court notice. I don't know why you weren't here. Okay, let's see. Do we have a, let's go 3 weeks out. Miss Holden, I just don't have it in front of me. Can we schedule for 28th? Yes, that's it.
At 10:30.
Okay, October 28th at 10:30 to deal with your dog issues, okay?
Mhm.
I would just bring
Yes. All right. Anything else from the lawyers?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
No, Your Honor.
Warren Lee and take Mr. Fifield. Oh, I guess I don't know. Do you want those notices to carry down with you?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second then.
No, so we have Ms. Harper.
I know, just 1 second.
No problem.
I was aware that she's here and we're working very hard to get through this docket.
This guy's from Brandon to-
I will, for sure. So do I get to tether on by you or by?
I have different.
Will it be a JSG tether or MDOC?
I think that's sort of up to you, because when we order it, normally ours are JSG tethers, but since he's under your jurisdiction, I guess that's up to you based on your rules.
I mean, we can do either, or judges do both as well. JSG, he could put it on right leaving the jail, whereas MDOC, you know, say he gets out on a Friday, he wouldn't be able to come in until Monday. It would just, I don't know if JSG would just be, just so he's accountable, it's on him when he leaves.
That's fine. The one you had before Deshaun was JSG?
Yes, ma'am. No, the last one I just
Yeah,
had was
MDOC.
that,
Does it make a difference to you which one?
honestly, no,
Are they the same?
basically, yes.
Okay, JSG is fine.
I'm listening for,
Well, he has experience. He can answer the question.
Anything?
I got, I'll see you Friday.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.